video with thanking God. You know, it's something I just need to say, and because I make so many videos, it just gives me a chance to be thankful to God many times, per day. The reason why I gotta be thankful for what I didn't have to live life like. Not even that, just not even have the option to live that life. Every day my life is being altered and rewired, and reality is reconstructed in these disturbing ways. And I understand the purpose of what's happening to me. I understand that as a target individual, what's truly happening here is just I'm a test subject. And as a test subject, we deal with technology that can alter your mind in so many disturbing ways. And it's a program that's ran by these governmental entities that have been developing technology to alter your brain. And not only my brain is being altered in this degrading way, which is hard to even believe. That I almost think that this is science fictional, but the truth is, for decades, maybe since the 50s or so, there's been a high effort in altering mind and changing the mind of human beings. And the Department of Defense has invested a lot into that, and they were able to do so much already in the 50s and the 60s that today it has gone to another level. And they do that in such a precise ways of manipulating your brain. But some other things they do to me is not just the psychological and physical rewiring my brain, the psychological rewiring my brain, but my body's being destroyed. And they're breaking my body down slowly. And I think the reason why also it's done slow, perhaps more, on top of others reason, is when what they're doing to the brain, they also try to brainwash you to identify with this. So it's like a brainwashing aspect of it that's happening externally while your brain is literally being rewired, where there's just like altering you and wanting you to identify to a new persona, to somebody you're not. But there's an external aspect of it where there's individuals who seems to be contracted by these governmental entities to implement these brainwashing tactics. They do things in repetitive ways. They disorient you, they overwhelm you with random things they say, they distract you, they disorient you, they do all kind of things that's very brainwashy. And when your body is also breaking down, it does help the brainwashing because you're too fatigued to just like resist the manipulation, right? So it's a consistent ecosystem of trash, which is the reason why I'm thankful I didn't even have the option to do what they do, because this trash, what they do is not hard, really. Like I said, actually they just have to minimize themselves more than anything else. It takes very little to do what they do. And as I'm saying that, they rewire my brain, but it doesn't take much. But it does take a level of low lifeness that you have to accept to be willing to stoop to. That perhaps if you respected yourself, you wouldn't do that. Or if you had like this strong self-respect, you wouldn't even think to go there. But this trash don't have that. And matter of fact, they think that what they're doing makes them fierce. They are very cowardly. When I know these people are just on a different level of cowardness. Is yesterday when I'm about to sleep, I'm about to go to bed, I'm locking out my doors and whatnot. I can hear in the hallway as I'm about to go to bed, saying somebody saying, I'm not scared. I'm scared. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scary. And she says that. I'm like, why are you saying that when obviously you don't even see me? You won't say that in front of me. But you become super brave when I'm about to go to bed, and you're in the hallways saying these things. These people are the way I don't even understand this. It's crazy. It's like, well, if you're not scared of me or scared of doing what you do in front of me, then do it. When in the hallways and you see me, tell me you're not scared of me. Say that in my face then. Now, they clearly are cowards. And the way you hear them talk, you think there's some fierceness. They're coward trash, and trash is what they are. Oh my gosh. Listen, today what's happening is they alter my brain in degrading ways. And what they have done consistently is altering my memories all the time. Always falsify memories of some sort. And it's been the same thing. And then they send, and a lot of these perps, that's what we call this trash. For me, when I'm in the apartment where I'm at, a lot of them are childlike individuals. So you can only imagine like the level of maturity as a very very low level, right? So you deal with these childlike individuals when I'm in my apartment that are just going through repetition and calling you whatever they want, when this trash are just a trash from four entities that we know have issue with pedophilia, which you're gonna hear. But they do this manipulation that are pedophilia centric. Then they will alter your memories to make you identify with these manipulations. They falsify your memories to match what they make you experience today. And they act like what they're doing is just a research. They're researching. And that's their researching, and they want you to take them serious, like when in truth is they're just doing all the alteration that's possible in order for you to experience that in real time, to try to make you identify with this, and also falsify your memories. This is a memory here that they're falsifying. Now, it's kind of not going to work out very well for them, but there's one aspect of it they just want to change. When I used to be, but before I found out I was a target individual, before August 19, 2019, I knew something was happening. This whole process of being target individual, I knew all along something was happening, but on August 19, 2019, everything changed to the extreme way. Of course, then it was clear that this is something governmental entity related was happening to me. But for years, I was wondering what was happening. I knew my family member were aware of something happening. I knew the person I was dating was involved in that. I didn't know what it was. And I knew it had to do with the employer who employed me at the time, putting me in something. Couldn't understand what it was. And what you're seeing here is me when I used to date this perp. I didn't know she was a perp, but I knew something was going on with her. I couldn't understand. Matter of fact, we ended up breaking up because I kept asking her. Let's just say her name is, let's just call her Betsy. I'm like, Betsy, what is going on? What are you doing? As I said Betsy, they try to kind of rewind my thoughts and make me think of like high school girl called Betsy. They do these things where they not only can alter, obviously to alter your brain, they can access your brain and access your memory. So they just make me think of Betsy, girl I knew from high school, and I'm sure there's going to be some alteration at some point of that. But so I remember asking Betsy, I was like, Betsy, what's going on with us here? Like, what's going on? You acting weird. You're doing this. And that's when, toward the end of our relationship, before we completely ended this thing. But I kept asking her, I was like, there's something that you're not telling me. What are you doing? Well, what's happening here? You're behaving weird. Like, I just, and you know, now I know what was happening. She was a perp all along. And she was behaving in weird ways that a perp behaved. But I didn't know what it was at the time. But when we're together, you know, we were together for a while, and the brother was married to his wife, but he got her pregnant, and while we were dating, we basically saw the pregnancy happen. She gave birth when we were still dating, and I babysat with this girlfriend of mine at the time, Betsy, her nephew, when he was like a baby, like, you know, like a few months old. And it was a great experience. It actually made me want to be a father. And it was, you know, like things were normal. Now, today my memories of that, they're changing it with disturbing experiences that weren't experienced at the time, but that's the things they do. They are reconstituting reality, and memories are altered in these ways, and they want me to identify with these memories. And so I babysat this kid. I saw this kid growing. It actually made me think of just becoming a father. I think once I became part of this kid's life, I saw how cool it would be to be a father. I think this kid, we call him Patrick. It's like Patrick made me want to be a father, because I just saw this little boy just growing up, and you know, this wholesomeness of it all, this awesomeness about being a father, just Patrick showed me, just because I was seeing that happening in real time, and I babysat, and I saw this little boy just grow up, right, for a few years. And so what you're seeing here is me holding him, and what you're gonna see there too is me talking to to his aunt, and he was in the background. Everything is blurred for a purpose. I don't want to reveal who that person is, but and in the background playing with his little car and whatnot. And today, what they do, they just try to or they are rewind my memories. There's a weird time. By the way, let's just say this: when you get a target visual, what happens first? The first stages is a lot of slenderous stuff that you don't know is happening, but you kind of start being aware of it. The slenders tend to be very pedophilia centric too. They tend to make you, they try to paint you as a pedophile before you even know that, before you know that you're being slandered in the community and this and that. And it's just like a slender defamation campaign happening before you are aware of it. And it's usually that nasty, right? But the irony of it all is just majestic. I think God works in mysterious ways, because as they defame you and slander you in this way, the reality of who's the pedophiles was exposed around the same time when they were kind of destroying my life, or were toward the end of it actually. And just that's why I'm so thankful to God, because everything I've asked for has been done. They've been revealed to be the true pedophiles, as they try to paint this fantasized reality where they're just doing some investigation and they're research and this, and in reality this trash a top tier child porn. But you'll see that, you'll get to that point. But this woman, who I call Betsy at this point, she was part of that. Now, I loved the family of Betsy. I loved the nephew, and they made me feel like I was part of their family. But what's more than Betsy herself? But toward the end, I started noticing weird things. It just became weird. I was like, they're up to something bad, right? And then I remember one time she sent me a picture of Patrick going to the bathroom, because I think they were learning how to potty, use the restroom. They're training him how to use the restroom on his own, right? Go for number 2. So she sent me a picture of him sitting on the toilet. You can see his little legs. You obviously don't see all of him being nude, but you see his little naked legs and sitting on the toilet. And I was like, okay, well, listen, I'm not like, we're close, but like I felt a little weird sending me this picture. It's just kind of off. I don't know why. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's nice. He's learning how to use the restroom, but it felt so weird. Like, I was like, that's not something that she usually do. And it was okay. It was like, okay, well, that's nice. But at the same time, I was like, I kind of feel weird having this picture in my phone. I just feel uncomfortable with that. Right now, I didn't experience these things that they make me experience today in my memories. Right now, they make me have the stimulations, right? And they tell me, yeah, now you this is the stimulation you had, and it's falsified. It's not real. They falsify memories in this fashion all the time. They make you having the perception experience that you didn't experience at the time into your memories. And they even have dialogues. They were having like dialogues in my brain, which they try to make you think that you're having your own thoughts, when in reality it's their thoughts. Right, they're the one controlling you to think this way and make you sound like it's you having these thoughts. One of the thoughts were like, oh, but of course I had the stimulation. If somebody sends a picture like that, it's gonna be no natural to have stimulation. It's so disgusting when it's not true. I didn't get any stimulation, but I did feel uncomfortable. Because I was like, it's kind of weird. I don't know, like, it's just a weird just think about just sending this child sitting on the toilet. Like, I don't know, it felt weird. Like, I've been close with the family, but not close enough for you to send picture of this boy being sitting on the toilet. I don't know, I felt weird. Maybe it was just I was overthinking at the time, but it just felt weird. But now they're putting stimulation, sensation, and things of that nature. When I say weird, I feel like don't feel like somebody should send me a picture of this kid, or I should have kids sitting on the toilet. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. Like, weird in that way, not weird because I feel like sensation, which is what they try to do. But weird as in, like, why are you sending me a picture of him sitting on the toilet? That's kind of weird. Yeah, don't do that, right? But now they're changing it by implanting stimulations and sensations, and they're nasty. Now, I might have been right to have this having this weird feeling of like, why is she doing that? Because all along now I realized that she's part of that. They were slandering me and defamation of that nature, that today I'm not surprised that she was doing that, to start painting that narrative of pedophile. So now I'm looking back, I'm like, that's what she probably did that for. That's why she did this. She perhaps wanted to paint that picture, and it became even more obvious that something disgusting was happening. Because when we broke up, I was keep asking her, what's happening, and then later on, I could hear downstairs this weird landlord of ours, that gay couple, and I could hear them say something about pedophile, this and that. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, what? So now, looking back, I'm like, oh, the likelihood of her sending that picture was to paint a disgusting image here, and I was right to think that this is kind of weird for her to send that to me. Now, what they're doing is they're making me have sexual stimulation when I'm thinking of this picture sent to me, which is falsified. But what they're doing too is, and when we broke up, I let me delete this picture, because when we broke up, I was like, this is just too weird. I don't want to have a random kid sitting on the toilet, poop, using the toilet. I'm no longer attached with her, so I shouldn't have a picture of this kid, especially like that. It's like, ugh. And this trash was like, no, it's just, yeah, you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. Poo, trash ass. The truth is, this trash are just bottom feeders for governmental entities who have pedophilia issues. And you're going to hear that. Because what you're going to see next over there is the clear validation that the entities behind this program that alter your brain, that rewire your brain, that consists of slandering you and create this false persona, are actual entities that have had issues with pedophilia. And actually, the same time when I was being gaslighted and messed with by, at the time, my ex-girlfriend and others, actually. And around the same time, that's when this article came out. First of all, came out from CNN, and then a bill was created in 2019. So around the same time as they try to paint me in this fashion, this comes out, showing that the Department of Defense was being ranked consistently for being a top tier network, computer network, for child porn trafficking in the United States. It's just amazing. As this trash, I like, yeah, pedophiles, when Trump's like, no, trash, you are the pedophiles, you fucking trash. Big time, top tier pedophiles, actually. And this trash are being groomed by pedophiles. That they do their mistake and think that I don't see them for the top tier pedophiles that they are, as they were trying to paint me in this fashion. We're just some trashy shit the government is contracting to paint others as pedophiles. Can I just stay strong and see this trash for what they are? Boo. Boo. Boo.
Is a shameful disgrace, and one we must fight head on, Spanberger said in a statement. According to child pornography watchdog Internet Crimes Against Children Child Online Protective Services, the Defense Department network consistently ranks in the top tier of Internet service providers for trafficking child pornography.
Boo. Boo.
Is a shameful disgrace, and one we must fight head on, Spanberger said in a statement. According to child pornography watchdog Internet Crimes Against Children Child Online Protective Services, the Defense Department network consistently ranks in the top tier of Internet service providers for trafficking child pornography.
Boo.